So, we reached 400 subscribers, a milestone that I never thought I would reach so soon, but here we are, here it is. So, for this milestone, I'm going to be answering your questions that you asked me in the community posts that I made a few days ago. Yeah, let's get started. What do you average? On 3x3, I average around 9 seconds. Sometimes I'm sub 9, sometimes I'm like mid 9. It really varies from day to day. On square one, I averaged 10 seconds. On clock, I averaged mid 5. And on big cubes, I averaged 35 seconds, 105, 155, and whatever something for 7x7. I don't really know. What is your PB? My PB average for 3x3 is 7.36. My PB single for 3x3 is 4.74. And for square one and clock, I really don't keep track of those. I think my PB average for square one is 7 point something, and my PB average for clock is mid 4. But for singles, I really don't keep track of those. What is your main event? My main event would have to be square one, although at the moment it would be clock, as my square one did break, unfortunately, a few days ago. Why do you cube? I initially began cubing because I had very long bus rides during middle school, and now I just cube because it's a fun hobby and because I have goals that I want to accomplish in the future. For example, last year I became 7x7 state champion, but that was really just a fluke because the person who really should have gotten 7x7 state champion, Carrie Creech, popped on his second solve and ended up getting a 5-minute solve, and I got a really bad 7x7 mean for me at the time, and still somehow got 7x7 state champion. So this year I hope to become square one state champion. By the time that North Carolina championships rolls around, I will be good enough to be state champion. Also, cubing is just a really fun sort of like respite from the stress of schoolwork and academics. Also, it's very satisfying to see yourself improve in real time, break PBs. It's a really good experience, and it feels like there's always more to learn with cubing. Are you world class? I wish. I am not world class in any events. However, I want to become sub 8 in square one day, or at least have a sub 8 average in square one day, which I think would be enough to put me in the world class rankings, because I think sub 8 is top 100 in the world. Although, I'm not sure. Different people have different definitions of the term world class. For some, world class means top 100 in the world, whereas for some, world class means top 10 in the world, or having the ability to break world record. For example, a solver such as Ryan Pelot is technically world class. However, we would not expect to see him break world record in 3x3. We would more expect him to break world record in square one, because he has much higher rankings there. He's top 25 in the world. So maybe he would be world class in square one, but not 3x3. But at the same time, he's sub 6 in 3x3, so I don't know. If I average 3 seconds on clock and I give you 10 grapes, what is the mass of a cat's head? Perfect, because when a cat sleeps on you, that's just a perfect feeling, because the mass of a cat's head is perfect. What are your major takeaways, and what have you learned from having been in the method development and analysis sector of cubing? Love your vids. Thank you very much. I wouldn't classify myself as a method developer, because a lot of the stuff that I cover in my videos are concepts that have been in the cubing community for a while, but nobody has translated into video form. I think that with a lot of cubing theory, there's a lot of content that just should be on YouTube that isn't. For example, when I made my Cube Sledgehammer video, I realized that the R2 sledge, which is perhaps one of the most fundamental finger tricks for Sarah's Advanced, was nowhere on YouTube. And that blew my mind. Why was it nowhere on YouTube? I wanted to find like a YouTube video so that my viewers could be directed to another resource, but no, there's nothing. And I feel like that's the same thing for a lot of cubing content. For example, there weren't that many 7-simul example solves until a few weeks ago. And there's no OBLP tutorial on YouTube, even though that's the next sort of hurdle that Square One theory needs to pass. So I think that that's what my videos are going to focus on for the most part. So I think that in terms of me and the method development sector, I think it's important for more people to sort of bring these understated techniques to light by translating them into video form, just as I have in some of my videos. However, I do want to sort of expand my horizons and make some more videos that aren't exactly strictly in the method development and analysis sector of cubing. Hopefully doing so won't alienate some of my viewers, but I mean, yeah. How do you feel about Bukies? What's that? I don't know what that is. Hold on. A chain of travel centers that offers EV charging. Okay. Looks like a southern thing, which I'm not really in the deep south, so yeah. I mean, if they offer EV charging, that's all good, I guess. Why is your name NotMeCubes? Initially in 2020, you remember the Among Us craze that happened? Well, I followed this Among Us YouTuber called Socks4One. In one of his videos, one of his friends was using the username NotMe. I sort of stole that username for my own usage as a sort of gaming username on Discord. However, on Discord, my presence shifted from Among Us gaming to sort of speedcubing. So when I made this a YouTube channel, I just decided, why not use the same username? Since my channel has to do with cubing, my Discord presence has to do with cubing, it will allow some continuity. Are you planning on learning 2-alg PBL for Square One? I already did, actually. And I was gonna like drill all the algs and stuff, but then my Square One broke. So now I'm just waiting for replacement parts to come. And if it was the core that broke, that would be fine, because you could still turn the Square One pretty fast if the only thing that was broken was the core of the MGC. But no, it was one of the edge pieces that was broken, which means that, yeah, you have to get the replacement part. How do I get as good as you at clock? Ah man, that's a mystery. You certainly don't seem like the type of person to be good at clock, because I mean, look at your YouTube results. Only sub 5 average of 12? Come on. Only sub 5 official average? Come on. I definitely have much more impressive averages than that, officially. When do you think we will hit the human limit for 3x3? I don't think we'll hit the human limit for 3x3 for quite a while, because the best cuber in the world is someone who is a 9-year-old. Yiheng still has like a decade of improvement left. Most professional athletes peak in their mid-20s, so Yiheng still has a lot of time. 4.48 is surely not the human limit. I think that the human limit won't be reached for years to come. Also, what do you see for the future of clock? I think the future of clock is just gonna be solvers alternating between Tommy and mirror Tommy. I think that 7-simul really is going to be the optimal method. I also think that people will be able to predict all 14 moves in a clock solve in inspection, as a sort of clock blind sort of thing. Because people are already super fast with just predicting 6 letters or 8 letters in inspection for Tommy 7-simul. I think that pretty soon we're going to see clock blind become a viable method, just as people are predicting full F2L in inspection nowadays. For records, I think that 5 years from now we're going to have sub 2 official average and sub 1.5 official single. Although that is a really bold assumption. I think more likely we're going to have a 2.5 official average, sub 2 official single. Where can I learn the best OLL one-handed algs? I would like to have some alternatives for each algs in case I don't like them too. For Although one-handed, I still think cube skills is the undisputed best. You can't go wrong with the one-handed OLL algs that were literally used by a world record holder, so. And there are a bunch of alternative algs for each OLL. I'm planning to get a square one, and I've heard many times that the MGC is the undisputed best, but I've also heard many times that it breaks easily. Someone broke the MGC for at least 10 times, I remember. Does it have that fragile issue, and what square one would you recommend to me to buy that is smooth, decent corner cutting, if that even exists, and most of all, doesn't break easily so that I don't have to worry that it would break every time I try to solve it fast? So I think that if you want to enjoy square one, the MGC is the way to go, because it is a smooth cube, it has decent corner cutting. I am not an expert on this, first of all. I've only ever used the YJ-MGC. So if you want to get better advice about this topic, I would highly suggest you talk to somebody who has more experience with square one or has been doing this event for longer than I have. From what I heard, square one breaking is a problem with a lot of square ones. I think the Little Magic is definitely a viable option if you don't want as many breakings and just want to get sub 20 with the beginner's method. However, the MGC is always going to be the best choice. Here's the thing, if you want to get sub 20, core breaking is really only a problem if you're turning like really fast. Like really fast. I mean like sub 12, sub 10 fast. If you want to get sub 20, I would say that core breaking really isn't that big of a problem. But if you're really concerned about it, you can buy the MGC square one from the cubicle and also put in maybe a few replacement cores with it as well. What are all of your PBs? Non-official. So all my PBs are on cubepb.com. These are all my PBs. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Cuba Time says, Charlie bit me. Yeah, and I paid him to. So I'm glad that my plan worked out. How do I get more subs? Please teach me. I mean, like, it looks like you're doing pretty well. You have 1K subs. Let's just see some of your... The Cubing Penguin says, what gave you the idea for a 10-move memeless? Also, you're one of my favorite queuing channels. I'm happy to hear that. This Q&A has definitely shown me that, like, a lot of people are watching my YouTube videos. A lot of real people are watching my YouTube videos and, like, enjoying them and getting some stuff out of this. However, 10-move memeless is not my idea. It's actually Tetrawaffle's idea. I have his YouTube channel linked in the description, and he has some incredible resources. Tetrawaffle is definitely an incredibly underrated sort of cuber in the YouTube community. He has a 470 official clock average, and he has, for my money, the best 7-simul flip tutorial on YouTube. Also, he's 65th in the world for Megaminx average? Wait, what? Huh. I didn't realize. So that's it. That's all the questions. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for subscribing. And I'll see you in the next video. I have a lot of good stuff that I'm cooking up for you. So, yeah. Thank you very much and see you later.